Welcome back, everybody, and of course that means it's time for Voices of Art, our interview segment, which we now have two of. So welcome, and here we go. All right, so today I am so happy to welcome back, it's Selina Ringel, here to talk about her book that she released about a year ago called Be the Train. But the exciting part is it's about to be released in Spanish as well, which it'll be Tú eres del tren.
Very good, Brent.
Well, I know. If it wasn't good, I'll hear about it. Trust me. Welcome back, Selina.
Well,
so nice to have you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm super excited to be back.
I'm super excited about your book. It's fantastic. I took a look on it. It's on Amazon already, well, in English, and we're relaunching the Spanish version of it. And I'm so excited about it because, I mean, as I told you on Asphalt Radio, you were there. I think I really like what you have to say in this book. So for listeners that have not heard about Beat the Train and, you know, everything that it's about, tell them a little bit about what your book is about.
Yeah, so Beat the Train is a bestseller on Amazon, and it is the mindset and tools you need to make your first feature film. So it is related to making a movie, but what's very interesting about the book and a lot of the feedback that we've gotten about the book is that it really is about so much more than making a movie. It is about the mindset of doing anything creative with your life. And so the title, Be the Train, what it means, it's kind of like the train is the opportunity that's going to take you to your destination. And instead of waiting for the train, you have to be the train. You have to be the opportunity that people want to jump onto instead of waiting for the opportunity that's going to change your life.
Okay, so I've got a question based on that. So obviously you wrote the book and you're giving the people this information, but so it must be part of your daily life, the whole momentum piece. So when did it become part of your daily life, and when did it become enough that you wanted to write about it?
So it's been a part of my daily life always. I think, you know, at this point, we've made 3 feature films. We've made a bunch of series. I have a stand-up comedy special. Every single thing that we have done, we have been the train. And what I mean by that is, you know, we've not waited for a studio or for a distributor or for an agent or for kind of like some bigger opportunity to present itself. We've just said, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it by this point, and we've just kind of started building momentum off of that. And even from just creating deadlines and saying, this is our shoot date, no matter what happens, this is how we're doing it. So I think that the way that we realized that I had to write this book was actually, I was doing a lot of speaking engagements. Like I've been asked a lot to do, you know, like I spoke in Cannes at the film festival and at Sundance and, you know, at UCLA and at USC. And I'm constantly kind of like talking to other independent filmmakers that are on the trajectory of their career and trying to figure out how to make things happen for themselves. And what was really interesting is that in one of these moments that I was on a panel, there were a bunch of people on the panel that were, you know, far more important than me or had, you know, bigger resumes than I did. And at the end of the panel, there was like a huge line of people who wanted to talk to me. And so me and my husband's my business partner, had like a whole conversation on the car ride back. Like, why? Like, why did that happen? Why were people more curious to talk to me than to talk to, you know, this guy who has a $300 million fund and is making some really huge movies? And what we realized was that I'm one step removed, right? Like, I think a lot of times it's very hard to imagine yourself with a $300 million fund. But you can imagine yourself with a really good independent film in theaters, right? It's like one step removed. And so I think that what we realized in that moment was we've learned so much in our careers about how to build momentum. What if we could help other people figure it out for themselves? Because I think there's just a lot of mixed messaging right now, and I think things are changing very quickly. And I just think that the world we lived in, where you could wait for an opportunity, is no longer the world we're in. I don't think it's enough to be a filmmaker. I don't think it's enough to be creative. I don't think it's enough to be talented. I think you also need to be your own marketer, your own best advocate. You need to be going for it. You need to be making the connections yourself. There's so many more moving pieces now.
Right, and based on what you're saying, then I'll let Jesse ask another question. It's like the answer to your question, and you know the answer to your question, why they lined up with you is because you're relatable. You know, jumping from the start line to 300 million is unrelatable. That's relatable. Like taking the steps that you need to get there is much more relatable, and that's why they lined up with you, in my opinion. One reason, one of many.
And I love what people are talking or they're saying about your book. They're saying Selina is undeniable force of nature. The advice she gives is invaluable for anyone who struggles with self-doubt or needs some practical guidance in this crazy industry. And she's talking about the, making a film and stuff, but I think your book, it's not just about that. I think you can apply it to any type of business, and I love it. And I love that you're telling everyone, to be that trained. But I'm curious about this book. Is there a chapter that really was, that made it more, I don't know, personal? Or is it the whole book?
Well,
your whole life?
The whole book is very personal. I mean, it's interesting because I think I really delve into both strategy, tools, mindset, and my personal experience navigating everything that I've done. And I think I was very vulnerable about what has worked and what hasn't been, what hasn't worked, what's been hard. And so it is a very personal journey, but I don't know, I think there is a chapter. It's funny because this is the hardest chapter, I think, to write. That's one of my favorite chapters. And I can't remember exactly. I think it's towards the end. But it's something about enjoying the journey. Enjoy the ride, chapter 27. That one was a little tough just because, I still struggle with this a lot. This notion of what it means to get to the end, like what the end looks like, what the recognition looks like, what the award looks like, there's so much of that ingrained, I think, in us as creatives. It's like we're working so hard and a part of us just wants the applause so badly, wants to be seen, wants our work to be seen, wants to be recognized, wants to know that it's, we're not just doing this in some black hole where no one cares and no one's listening. And so, but at the same time, what's so interesting is that in my career now, I've been lucky enough to have all of these really beautiful, successful moments. And what is so true is that after every wonderful, successful moment, I basically wake up the next day and I'm like, well, now what? Now I have to do it all over again. And so this feeling actually, it's like that thing you're striving for doesn't actually resolve anything else. And so I think that one of the things we really have to work on, that I'm still working on, is just embracing and enjoying the beauty and the joy of the doing, and knowing that all that stuff that comes, all the success, which I want more and I love and it's fun, but also it's fleeting. And so to not kind of put all of your energy just on that to the point where you can't actually enjoy the doing.
The doing. I love that. I love that point. And I love it that, you're a bestseller in English on Amazon and that you're redoing this journey in Espanol.
Yes.
Tell us about, when you're relaunching, where you're doing it, all of that.
Yeah, so I am Mexican-American. I grew up in Guadalajara. And it's just so interesting because, I'm, like I said, I speak at a lot of places and I have such a large Latin community. And I actually speak in Spanish in a lot of places. I'm asked to go speak in different Latin communities. The book has been required reading in certain film schools. And so it's this really cool thing. But the more I was kind of sitting with the book and the experience people have been having reading it, I was like, why is this not available to my Latino community who by the way is all over the world, we're such a large, incredible community of creators and creatives. And so all of a sudden clicked, like it makes so much sense to make this available to so many more people. And we decided to launch this month in April, well, this coming month, in Miami.
Yay!
So we're going to be launching at Books and Books, which is a very big bookstore, and we're really excited about that. We have so many events happening in Miami. Then we're doing a launch in Mexico City, and we might do something in Europe.
That
Fantastic.
sounds amazing.
Congratulations.
Wow. Definitely can find you everywhere. So for our viewers right now who just want to know, where do I buy the book and how do I follow you? We're out of time, so how could you tell them that really quickly, and then we got to move?
Yes, so the book is on Amazon, and you can find me at Selina Ringel, SelinaRingel, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. And yeah, buy the book and let me know what you think. I love hearing from people.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us again. We can't wait to hear more about Tu Eres del Tren as it releases.